We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. Well, what's happening? It's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how a major uptrend may be forming very soon on Bitcoin. As you know, Bitcoin has been through a protracted corrective movement over the past 45 or more days, where we first initially hit a $73,000 all-time high. We fell all the way below $60,000. Lately, we've been trading sideways, building what seemed to be an inverse head and shoulders pattern. And today, we're going to be talking about how that pattern may be very well playing out for the upside relatively soon. So far, Bitcoin's drop seemingly has stuttered, and we have began a sideways stalwart corrective movement. And so today we're going to talk about whether or not that downtrend is over and whether or not we are about to continue our uptrend back to the upside and whether Bitcoin is about to go back to all-time high. My name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency and the finance space for about the last 7 years, and it is my passion. It is my dream in life. It is my purpose for being, if you will, to teach you to be financially sovereign, which means having control over your finances lest they control you. I would postulate that the vast majority of Americans, vast majority of people in the world, are in slavery. They are in straight up slavery to debt, to credit cards, to chaos. We must forsake foolishness, declare war on chaos, and choose FinSov. And that's what we're all about here, is choosing the doctrine and the philosophy and the proven process of financial sovereignty. So today and for the rest of this week, we're going to be continuing to learn about how we can grow financially so that we can be better stewards of our money, so we can give generously, live an awesome life, invest wisely, and leave a great inheritance. And overall, establish prosperity in our family. Very excited to be here today, guys. Thank you, everyone who has tuned in. We've got Drian in chat, Sean O'Brien, Joe Bollier, Philly Skills 1428, Josh Shea, Jake Thomas, Coin Operator, Drian's in chat as well. Queen in chat called out. Time for some shrimp on the Barbie, they said. There you go. Alex Lawson is in chat, said, Crypto Jeb, good morning. Rolando Lima is in chat. Green Bronco 72, Misael Contreras. I think I may have said that wrong. It said 5.3 theory. Exactly. With yes, with the Elliott wave. We'll talk about that here in a little while. Jason sat in chat, said, good morning from Tucson, Arizona. I have the Beholder, said, let's go, baby. Chosen One of God said, Pepe just rose this morning. Will Bitcoin crash? We will talk about Bitcoin. Good deal. Queen, said, Jeb, how is your mental health? It is wonderful. It is good. I am very blessed to have a loving wife and great kids and a powerful God and great community. So I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Ampex is in chat. Farron Morgan, Queen, Crypto Mini Bike. I love interacting with you guys. Piyush is in chat. Jake's in chat. Really appreciate all of you for being here today. Let's get started. We've got a lot to cover. Bitcoin right now is down over the last 7 days, 1.7%. But in the last 24 hours, it is up nearly 3%. And that is as a result of a movement to the upside that we'd been kind of expecting. On the Bitcoin chart, we ended up dropping back down towards this downtrending level of currently support that we had been building over the weekend, and we fell all the way back down to $60,171.90. That means that we have continued forming our inverse head and shoulders pattern, as you can see. Thus, we fell back down to the shoulder line, which is at $60,000. And from there, we've begun an uptrend. We've begun a rally. I do believe that we're probably going to see that continue. And so, very excited to see that going on. I think that Bitcoin will likely end up breaking bullish above this line, which is the neckline. And should we break above the neckline, we remember what our price target is. It's pointing up here towards $73,000. Should we break above that downtrending level of resistance, it would actually point us to between $73,000 and $75,000, which would be absolutely wonderful. There's a good few reasons why I'm believing that that rally may be coming relatively soon. On the 4-hourly chart, we've got a pretty strong uptrend on the MACD, almost mirroring what's going on the chart. We've almost got an inverse head and shoulders pattern on the MACD right here, showing that we are indeed going through a major rally as we had in the first week of May and here in the third week of April as well. well. And down here on our very own Crypto Jeb oscillator, built in partnership between us and LUX ALGO, we actually have a buy signal, a bullish divergence here on the Crypto Jeb oscillator, which again, we built in partnership with LUX ALGO. Very excited about it. And it gave us this bull signal right here. We also saw a bullish divergence right here and right here. So a bullish divergence and a bullish MACD cross have preceded the last two movements, and now they're preceding this movement. Well, the interesting thing about these movements that occurred is that this one was $7,500 tall, 12%. This one was $9,500 tall, 17%. This movement so far has been $2,700 tall. Split the difference, call it an $8,000 rally. That puts us towards $68,000 if that is anything like the previous rallies that we have just witnessed. And so I have this belief that I think that Bitcoin's about to try and break out. I think that we're going to try and complete the inverse head and shoulders pattern. I am not the only analyst that sees the inverse head and shoulders pattern. It is a very commonly known pattern, probably one of the most popular in all of technical analysis. So I can almost guarantee you there are, if not millions, hundreds of thousands of people around the world right now that see this pattern playing out. And so it gives them this belief, all right, we've been through a major corrective movement, but we still have the ETF having just occurred. We know the history. Many people are confident that Bitcoin is going to be higher in 6 to 12 months than it is right now, and so they invest. They're just waiting for the bottom to be in. And so if Bitcoin starts to break above this downtrending level of resistance right here, then we are very likely going to be up, and away, and that is something I am quite excited about. See, I love doing technical analysis for you guys because I've been doing this for so long that before it took me half an hour to make the point that I just made, but I'm able to kind of get through it quickly and just say, boom, here's what I'm seeing. That's the implication. And then we kind of got through it. The technical analysis, I put a lot of work into it, but it's one of those things where I'm able to share it with you pretty quickly. So hopefully that was helpful. I do believe, nobody likes to talk about 5.3 theory. First rule about 5.3 theory is that you cannot talk about the 5.3 theory. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about that right now. It is not as unpredictable as you think it is. Something like Bitcoin, it's established. It's been here for a very long time. It is not a new market anymore. It's nearly 15 years old. In fact, actually, I'll take that back. It is 15 years old now. It turned 15 January 3rd of this year. So Bitcoin has been around the block. And so you have this reasonable assumption that it will be worth more in 5 years than it is now. That's been true pretty much for the entire history of Bitcoin. At any point in Bitcoin's history, if you bought it and held it for over 5 years, for 5 years exactly, you had at least a 95% likelihood that you would be in the green. There were a couple of times if you bought at $20,000 and then you held into the last bear market, exactly 5 years later, you weren't in profit, but you were in profit before you hit 5 years later. So in a way, that doesn't really count. You made money within 5 years every single time you ever bought Bitcoin if you held it for 5 years so far. Going back 5 years and a day ago, obviously, if 3 years ago, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 2 years, but going back in history, that has always been the case. And so that is giving people this confidence that, all right, I'm just waiting for this corrective movement to be over. And what wise investors do is they wait for the market to bottom out and then when the market starts coming back on, that's where they're going to start really dollar cost averaging hard. And so that's what you're seeing. You're seeing a lot of people saying, all right, that might have been the bottom back there at $58,000. And if we break above that downtrending level of resistance, then a lot more people are going to probably feel the exact same way. So if you're first tuning into the stream, thank you so very much for being here. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I greatly appreciate all of you for attending the stream here today. And if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that post notification bell so you won't miss a single stream. Thank you so very much for being here. All right, let's go back on over to CoinMarketCap and continue talking our crypto, and we will continue talking about how to build wealth therein. All right. Ethereum is down 4.7% in the last 7 days, but it is up 1.1% in the last 24 hours. That is as a result of the rally that's going on Bitcoin. The majority of our favorite cryptocurrencies are going into rallies as a result of Bitcoin's movement. But why? What's going on here? Let's dig a little bit deeper than what might happen next on Bitcoin. Well, if we look at the United States stock market, we are on our route back to all-time high. This is exceptionally bullish for Bitcoin because the Bitcoin market closely follows the stock market, except it oftentimes lags behind it. If the stock market hits all-time high, Bitcoin's normally on its way to all-time high, as it is this morning, but it's normally not there yet. Bitcoin follows the stock market, but a more nuanced definition is that Bitcoin follows the stock market and lags behind the stock market. And so when you see the stock market going into a rally and approaching all-time high, a lot of times Bitcoin's not close to all-time high yet, but it probably is going to be going in that direction. The SPDR S&P 500 ETF Trust is just below all-time high at 521 points. this morning, $521 this morning. And so with the SPY moving back to the upside, that is very bullish for Bitcoin. And the DXY, the dollar currency index, which we know represents the strength of the United States dollar, the value of the United States dollar against a basket of other worldwide national reserve currencies such as the yen and the pound and the euro and the many other national currencies. The dollar's strength has been declining against the rest of the world's currencies. And so that means that the DXY has been going down short term. The last month or so, we've been seeing a decline on DXY about 1.4%. In general, we've actually been seeing an uptrend all year, which has been part of the reason that Bitcoin has been having a difficult time, because it's been sitting here attempting to rally as the DXY is rallying, and that's a little bit like trying to win a 0 to 60 race with the brakes on. You could do it, but it's going to be a lot harder. It's like trying to run a marathon when you are exhausted. I mean, you can do it if you're skilled enough, and Bitcoin is very, very talented, to use the analogy a little further, but it is difficult when you've got the brakes on with the DXY. So DXY going down the last month has been very bullish for Bitcoin, and we are starting to become into this perfect storm situation where Bitcoin is looking like it's going to rally because there are technical factors pushing it to the upside. The stock market is rallying, and we know that Bitcoin is positively correlated with the stock market, and the DXY is correcting, and so Bitcoin is likely going to go into a rally as a result of that as well, because Bitcoin is negatively, or rather inverse, correlated to the DXY. When the DXY goes up, Bitcoin goes down. When DXY goes down, Bitcoin goes up. And so we've got reason to believe that Bitcoin is going to do well over the next few days. Even out here on the daily chart, you can see that we're starting to see a lot more green coming out of the MACD. The MACD has been resoundingly bearish for the last several weeks, about the last 8 weeks. We had a bullish cross for the first time here right after we hit the bottom of the inverse head and shoulders pattern right there. And so I do believe that this MACD being bullish is very good for Bitcoin. You know, we've bottomed out. MACD line, signal line dropped well below the zero line. Had our correction. All is well and good at this point. If we look at the crypto Jeb oscillator, we have not gone into huge amounts of bullish territory yet, but even today, you can see the bullish momentum is starting to move to the upside. There's not much bullish acceleration down here. Not really any at all, actually, yet, because this is the bearish acceleration, but the bears are not gaining strength. The bulls are slowly gaining strength, and the bears are slowly losing strength. This is the reason that I developed this indicator. Obviously, I didn't code it. The LUX Algo team did, but they coded it based on the ideas that I had. Like, you know, what if we could have an indicator that told us whether the bulls or the bears were stronger and when that was changing? Moments like this is exactly why we had the crypto Jeb oscillator created. This was the entire reason for it being brought into existence. You can see the bullish strength here has been increasing. The bearish strength has been decreasing. This is exactly why I made this indicator. This is exactly the purpose of it, was to spot stuff like this. When the bears are losing strength, the bulls are gaining strength. And that's what we're seeing right now. The crypto Jeb oscillator is working perfectly. If you want access to it, go to luxalgo.com/Jeb. Sign up for any of the LUX Algo plans, and you'll be getting access to crypto Jeb oscillator for free as a free add-on. But you'll only get it if you sign up for LUX Algo under our link. Very excited about what it's telling us. And it, along with MACD, along with what I'm seeing in the stock market, along with what I'm seeing in the DXY, along with what I'm seeing in the inverse head and shoulders pattern, along with what I'm seeing on the shorter term time frames, they're all pointing to Bitcoin having bottomed out. And even here on the daily chart, our take profit on this sell signal was here centered at $56,600. That is almost to the letter, almost to the digit, almost to the decimal where Bitcoin went to. We hit the take profit. We're rallying now. Now we just need to see Bitcoin get above this level, which is our trend catcher, and then above this downtrending level of resistance, which is our neckline, and then Bitcoin will be ready to move even higher. So very excited about where Bitcoin is. So make sure that you keep on top of it. And also, guys, remember to continue to invest. The way that you build wealth is you invest in assets that you reasonably believe will be worth more over time. We invest in the stock market because we have every reason to believe that it will be worth more in the future than it is now. That's true bull market, bear market. We invest in real estate because we reasonably believe that it will be worth more in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years than it is right now. So we invest in real estate. If you buy land and you're a land speculator, you buy land because you reasonably believe that it will be worth more in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years than it is right now, because the freeway is going to come through and they're going to slap a Walmart on that puppy, whatever it is. You invest in things because you reasonably expect that they will be worth more than they are right now, and that is how you build wealth. That is a law of money. We invest and we save to build wealth. If you don't want to invest, then you won't build wealth. You will not build wealth slapping all of your money under your mattress. You know why? Because it gets silently taxed by inflation, which is one of the reasons that I advocate for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin does not. When you invest in Bitcoin, you are hedging yourself from inflation, and you're also investing in an asset that you can reasonably expect will be worth more in 5 years than it is right now, and that is what we should be investing in. One other thing that we ought to be investing in is our security, because if we do not, then people can come along and steal our stuff. That's not good. There's a reason that one of the biggest expenses of governments around the world is military. It's because you don't want people to come and besiege you. It's not conducive to building an economy. National security is a basic step towards building any kind of economy. And so in our own personal lives, it's very important that we are wise stewards of our finances and we ensure that we set up all the precautions and protections we can to protect ourselves from hackers. And one of those is NordVPN. NordVPN.com/Jeb will take you to a page where you can sign up for a 2-year plan and get access to all of the NordVPN suite, because you want to do that to keep yourself safe. You want to sign up for NordVPN so that it shrouds your IP address and protects you from prying eyes that are trying to sell your information, that are trying to steal from you, and that are trying to hack you. So sign up for NordVPN.com/Jeb and ensure that, especially whenever you're on public Wi-Fi or anywhere like that, that you have it turned on. Press O'Neill's in chat said, usually when is crypto bear market? Is it also stock bear market? If so, what should you put your crypto profits into when you pull them at peak, Crypto Jeb? Great question, Press O'Neill. So I love it when you guys ask questions like that. So here's the strategy. The first thing that we need to do is we need to choose FinSolve. We need to forsake chaos. We need to forsake foolishness, declare war on chaos, and choose FinSolve. The second thing we got to do is we've got to live on less than we make. Third thing we got to do is we got to live on a budget. Fourth thing we got to do is we got to save a $2,500 starter emergency fund. After that, we got to pay off all of our debt that is not our house. After that, we're saving 15% of our income for retirement. I want you to put at least 90% of that in the United States stock market. If you put a little bit of your retirement into crypto, that's fine. But crypto is extremely volatile, and the stock market is proven. So that number may change over time. But for now, keep at least 90% in the stock market. After that, I want you to pay off your house. After that, step 9, I want you to invest for wealth generation. After that, I want you to get to step 10, which is live an awesome life. Be radically generous. So how do we apply the financial sovereignty way, which is that 10-step process, to that question? Well, we follow something that we call our investment plan. One of the laws of money is that we must maintain a written plan for our investments and for our finances. For our finances, it's called a budget. For our investment, it's called an investment plan. The way that we do investment plans here at the Crypto Jeb channel and the Financial Sovereignty Academy is we say every interval we will invest X amount of currency into Y, our portfolio, into Z cryptocurrency exchange. So every Friday at 5 p.m., we will invest $100 into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and cash, and we will do that on crypto.com, right? That's how we do an investment plan. What we also need to do is we need to have a divestment plan. And that stipulates a few more things. And this is all stuff that we'll be teaching in the Financial Sovereignty Academy. And some of the content's actually done. We just got to finish it out so we can launch it. We also have to have a divestment plan, which is every interval we will divest X amount, except this time instead of dollars is percentages, of our cryptocurrency portfolio, and we decide what the percentage is every interval we're going to divest out of each cryptocurrency and at what point we will begin that divestment on a certain cryptocurrency exchange. And part of the plan is we've got to figure out what we're going to do with the money. I made a video on this a while ago. There are 5 things primarily that you can do with cryptocurrency proceeds. And this is a question that is extremely important because we need to know the answer to this going into the season where we finish up our the market's gone to all-time high. We're taking out profit. What do we do with it now? So, like I said, I actually made a video on this. It's right here. You're a crypto millionaire. Now what? 5 top things to do with crypto profits. And one of them is you got to pay taxes. One of them is that you can and you should enjoy some of them. One of them is that you can and you should be generous with some of them. One of them is that you can save them and invest it in the United States stock market or other investment vehicles. And the 5th thing you can do is you can pay off debt. And you should. And so what this is one of the things I cover in coaching quite a bit. If you guys don't know, I am a financial coach, and so I love sitting down with you guys and going over your finances and diving into questions just like this. Press O'Neill, if you're interested, you've been in chat for a long time, I would love to meet you. The link's in the description. If you want to go into this in more detail, I'd be more than happy to get some one-on-one with you and go into that more. What I normally recommend people do is that if they've got a house, I normally recommend them put a good portion, or any other kind of debt, that they put a good portion of the proceeds into paying down the house so they can be debt-free. And that frees up a mortgage payment. That frees up them. That'll save them hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of the loan in interest normally. Another thing is, obviously, you got to set aside money for taxes, but then you put money in cash. Some of it in cash. You say maybe 10% of it. I'm not saying 50%, maybe 10% of it you put into cash and you hold it and you say, all right, I'm going to rebuy when the bear market comes. You're going to put a good bit of it into retirement. You know, the way that most people built wealth in the United States that started it, and they do things on top of this after they've mastered these things, and then they go on and do more. But after they master these things, then they go on and do more. They pay off their house, they have no debt, and they invest in the United States stock market, mainly in retirement accounts. And so the profits from the crypto space, think about it like this: if you make 5x on your money in crypto, let's say we made 5x, we turned $100,000 into $500,000. We're going to turn around and say, okay, I'm going to pay off my debt on my house, and I'm going to make $2 for every dollar I put in because I'm going to save money on the interest payment. So I might have $190,000 left on the loan. Maybe I owe $230,000 of interest left. That's a very common kind of situation. So I'm going to save $1 for every dollar I put into paying down the house. So I just turned my money that I 5x'd into money that I 10x'd because I made 5x in the crypto space. Then I don't add it. I multiply it by paying off interest. And that's really how you build wealth. That's how, if you've got a high interest rate on some debt or on a mortgage or on an asset that you're not planning on selling, you're going to keep, then by getting 3 or 4x in the crypto space and then throwing it at the debt and then getting another 3x, you could be getting 12x on your money because you invested it and then you paid off debt with it. Now, don't get me wrong. I want you paying off debt before you're doing a bunch of investment. But if you're already in that position and all you have left is a house, and that's fine. Invest in the crypto space. That's great. That being said, one of the best things you can do with proceeds is to pay off some debt and be free. It is a myth. It is a myth that having a bunch of debt is going to be how you build wealth. It's not true. By the way, it's not what the rich people say. It's not what the statistics say. People that are ridiculously wealthy are not in a bunch of debt. They are not doing it because they get their legs wiped out from under them. Even the people that play the real estate game, they say, oh, we need to have mortgages on all of it. You know what they end up saying the end goal is? Having paid off properties. They even realize that that's the end goal. Even all these TikToks and all these people that are like, oh, we need to, have 10 rental properties before you turn 30 because by the time you're 60, then you'll have 10 paid for rental properties. They even admit that the goal is for it to be paid for, so it'll cash flow like crazy. Pay the sucker off earlier and don't pay $400,000 per property. That's $4 million for all of that you could have used to expand the portfolio. It takes longer in the beginning and then it accelerates faster in the end. God never blessed somebody with debt. The great story of Israel was bringing them out of the debt that they had to the Egyptians. They didn't do anything. They were just in slavery, which is what debt is. So one of the best things you can do with the proceeds, pay off debt if you have it, and then reinvest it. And you should enjoy some of it. You got to pay taxes on it, and you should be generous with some of it as well. All right. Homer Simpson crypto volume going up today, Jeb. That's interesting. Homer Simpson cryptocurrency. Yeah, this is let's see this. Homer Simpson. Price not tracked. Doesn't have price. Yeah, it's fun, right? It's funny. Don't buy it. Please don't buy it. Don't buy it. You got no way of predicting what it's going to do. 420 trillion Simpson. Wow. Yeah, that's the thing that people don't realize. You can make a cryptocurrency very, very easily. It's not very easily. It's not very hard to make a cryptocurrency, but it is very hard to make a cryptocurrency that has real value. So don't buy it unless you are gambling on it. If you want to buy like $10 of it just in case, whatever. I don't have a problem with that, but please be very careful. It's not the way that you're going to make your wealth. All right, guys, let's read some more chat. Love you guys for tuning in. Crypto Crow sent you. Well, shout out to Crypto Crow. He was in chat the other day. Press O'Neill said, debt-free, luckily, thinking about purchasing a home after the next crypto bull run. Currently, I'm in subsidized housing, so financially it's better to keep for me right now than buying. Right, and so My goal for you is to get to the place where you have your own home. So one thing that you could do is, like you said, purchasing a home. That's wonderful. I don't personally have a problem with you taking out a mortgage. I don't like mortgages, but at the end of the day, I understand that homes are the biggest investment that most people, or the biggest asset, not so much investment, but the biggest asset most people will ever purchase. So if you're going to buy a home, do your very best to put at least 20% down on a 15-year fixed rate mortgage. And that's because you're going to end up saving hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on where you live, especially in this interest market. You're going to end up saving hundreds of thousands of dollars that you could have been enjoying, being generous with, or building wealth with on the interest because you chose a 15 instead of a 30. And it's going to mean a bigger payment, and it might mean you have a smaller house, but it's also going to mean that you're able to grow wealth faster. It also means you're going to be able to master the home quicker. And it also means that you're going to have a lot more peace. So please do that. You'll be glad you did. My recommendation is always to buy a home, 20% down, 15-year fixed rate mortgage. The payment's less than 30%, less than 25% actually of your take-home pay, and you pay the thing off in 3 to 7 years. Jeb, that's crazy. What are you talking about? It's been done before. It can be done again. Might mean you get a smaller house, but guess what? You'll have more peace. I know a lot of people that rented. I know one family that stayed with us for a couple of months. Some of my in-laws, they rented for 8 years, saved up a down payment, bought the house in cash. You know, it can be done. It can be done. You might have to live a little bit further out of the city. You might have to move a little bit. You might have to live in a smaller house. You might be a little bit more cramped, but it is worth it for the peace that comes from being financially sovereign. Robert P. said, Jeb, this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. You know, I love that verse so much. We were looking at our eggs, and they had put that verse on the egg cart, and I was like, man, these chicken farmers, they know what it's all about. I was so happy to see that. It's a great verse. Hi, Jeb. Any comments on buying a very, very, very small amount of major meme coins? I don't think it's a problem to put 1 to 2% of your portfolio into meme coins because there is, as much as it's kind of silly to say, there is actually a little bit of perceived value in them. And the reason for that is because they do pump during the bull market. They typically do. They typically do. And so when they are pumping, you kind of got to give it. You got to give it to the meme coins that they do pump during the bull market. So it's maybe 1%, maybe 2% into the major meme coins. I would pick the ones that are proven. My philosophy is always to pick the greatest company, and generally the greatest company is the biggest company. It's not always, but generally it's the greatest company. In this case, it's generally the greatest cryptocurrency. It's the one that's the most popular. It is the winner. It is the one that's already won. And you might say, Jeb, you're picking a late bloomer. Well, we're still very early on in cryptocurrency. There's plenty of room to run. So I have nothing against buying a little bit of I've gotten absolutely nothing against buying a little bit of crypto, a little bit of meme coins, but I would keep it a very small portion, and I hesitate to even call it an investment because it's not something that has real value. Crypto Trucker Mike said, good morning, Jeb. Happy to catch you live, my friend. Happy to see you. Good morning, my friend. Blockchain James said, good morning, Jeb. Alex S. said, good to have you with us, Jeb. Yeah. All right. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you as well. All right. Let's continue right along here with. Let's continue right along here with our technical analysis and look at some of the other coins. Solana sitting at $146 right now. Very excited about that. It's at about 147. We have seen it go through a major rally, and I think that it is going to be able to go into a bigger uptrend pretty soon. I think the whole market is kind of primed right now for a rally. Solana is also building an inverse head and shoulders pattern, very much akin to what we saw on Bitcoin. If we look here on the MACD has crossed bullish. Now it is moving, converging bearish in the last 4 days, so that is slightly concerning, but the bulls are gaining strength on the Crypto Jeb Oscillator. The bears are losing strength, which is phenomenal. We hit the take profit on the sell signal, which indicates that the bottom may have already come in. And overall, Solana looks as though it may be going through a very similar formation that we went through back here. In the longer term, Solana is probably moving through a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Elliott impulse wave for the bull market. And that may look something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's hard to tell so far, but it may end up looking something like that. It looks like these two corrective movements may be very similar. So I think there's going to be more room to run on Solana. So we will continue to pay attention to that. As far as Ethereum goes, Ethereum is in this falling wedge. Falling wedges have a 70% likelihood of breaking bullish, roughly. And so with it sitting right here above well, excuse me, with it sitting right here above. Sorry, I thought that chart was outdated, but no, it's actually current. With that uptrend sitting right here, moving to the right above this uptrend, with Ethereum sitting right above this uptrend, I think that we're probably going to be able to see a breakout pretty soon of that falling wedge. And so it looks to me like a lot of the different cryptocurrencies are really positioning themselves well. We don't have the buy signal, the bullish confirmation on MACD that we want just yet. And we're also seeing a lot of blue down here on Crypto Jeb Oscillator. So LUX Algo isn't, Ethereum isn't looking quite as bullish as the rest of them. But Ethereum has also dropped all the way down to its take profit on its sell signals. So just like on the others. So I am of the opinion that we're going to see a bottoming out happening very soon on ETH. So stay tuned for that. That is very exciting. So let's continue reading a little bit of chat here. Love interacting with you guys. Jeb to the moon. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's an AI play. Let's see. Hi from Blackburn, Lancashire. That's cool. That's a cool place. Never been there. Let's see. Yeah, so, you know, it was so cool. We had you know, we had this on Thursday. We woke up and we went about our day, and our HVAC unit went out, which, you know, like I said, we have an emergency fund. We got the cash. If it's $15,000, we have to pay it new, then we can pay it, right? We've got the ability to do that because we've chosen FinSoft. Luckily, that didn't happen, though. So, and then we woke up on the next morning on Friday, and a basketball goal had fell and destroyed the front windshield of our Toyota Camry. And then we found out that, that happened. So everything kind of just all happened at once. And so we prayed to God. We said, you know, we have a please and we have a thank you wall on in our house for prayers, and then when God answers them. And sometimes God answers and the answer is no, but we thank him either way. And so we prayed, you know, help insurance to cover the windshield, because there were some questions about whether or not they were going to. There seemed to be some nonsense going on, but it all worked out. And then we also prayed that the HVAC unit would have something minor in that needed to be fixed. And so we prayed that, and over the weekend, we had the insurance pay for the new windshield, brand new windshield, and we had a family friend come out who was an HVAC technician, found out it was a capacitor that had gotten fried in a power surge, and replaced it for $200. So awesome. You know, we had the money there that we were able to be financially sovereign if we had to spend $1,000 on new windshield and, you know, $15,000 on new HVAC unit, which it shouldn't have gone out. The house is only 6 years old, and it didn't. All fixed. So yeah, there you go. You know, like I said, it wasn't a concern because we've chosen FinSoft. We had the ability to pay for all that new if we had to, but very excited that God answered that prayer. So very happy with that. Joel Bullier said, what was the problem with your air conditioning? All good now. Yeah, so in our town, the power company sometimes sends out power surges. They're obviously not, it's not intentional, but it's like kind of like a brownout. I actually went to middle school about 2 miles, about a mile from where we live. And I remember this when I was in middle school. It happened sometimes. And all the power would flicker and everything. So it was a power surge, blew the capacitor. And so they just had to put a new one in there. Fixed it. All good. All good. All right. Bless you, Jeb. Should we be out of Ethereum because of the SEC threats? I personally still believe that Ethereum is going to do just fine, despite what the SEC is claiming. I don't think that the SEC is going to have very much at all traction in these suits and in their withholding of a bit of an Ethereum ETF. I think that it's going to bring FUD, and it's going to be a hard-fought battle, but you're going to get an Ethereum ETF, and Ethereum is going to end up performing very well, exceptionally well in the bull market. And I do believe that it'll be worth more in 5 years than it is now. And that's my standard. Do I have a 95% confidence that, this is straight out of our playbook, do I have a 95% confidence that an asset will be worth more in 5 years than it is right now? If so, then that is something that I'm investing in for the long run. Now, I might make other investments and say, I think this will be worth more in a year with a certain amount of confidence. But generally, my basic philosophy is 5 years, 95%. That's what I'm investing in, because I don't like losing money. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've told you guys before. I'll tell you again. I've been dumb with more money than most of you guys have ever seen in your life. I have been the kind of dumb that's got a couple of commas on it, and I don't want to live that way. I don't like that. I don't want to do it. I'm not for it. I want to grow with wealth. I generally believe that if you're being wise with money, you are either going to have more of it as time goes on and you're going to grow it and it's going to be a peaceful thing for you, or you're not going to have any of it because you were called to give it all away to somebody that needed it more than you. So I don't feel like I'm called in that direction. I'm called to give a lot of money, but not just to give it all away. So, you know, generally, I want to see that growing over time. That's my goal, is to be a wise steward of it and to have it grow. And so that's what we're looking to do, is to continue growing our wealth. Matanya Holmes said, Toyota Camry for the win. Said, why does my question keep getting taken down? I'm not sure. It's probably YouTube, because I don't see another question. So you can tell me on that. By the way, guys, if you have not already, I want to make sure that you guys go to the first link, or not the first link, but one of the links in the description box down below, and check out Uphold's Vault. If you have not already, Vault is the one-stop shop to self-custody your own private keys in the cryptocurrency space for Bitcoin and XRP, and it works like this. You have 3 keys. 2 of them are yours. One of them Uphold holds onto, and should you lose a key, Uphold will give you the Uphold key so that you can still get back into your wallet. It is incredibly important to invest in security and to make sure that you have solid custody solutions, but it's also very important that you have some kind of method for getting it back in case you lose it. So Vault by Uphold sits in that middle ground where you have access to exchanges 24/7. It's very simple, but what you're not seeing is the ability to get back the funds if you were to lose a key. And so make sure to check out uphold.com with the link in the description box down below. Drian said, yes, our question is being removed. Well, that's strange. I don't see why it would be. Is there anything like, do you have a link in there or anything? I'm not sure why that would be happening. I'm still working on getting callers on, because we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about these things. You guys are going to put me to the test. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what I think on things. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to tell you guys to do some of this. Check this out. These are our old credit cards. They were cut into shreds. This is what I think about credit cards. We're keeping them as props. You're probably going to see them in the Financial Sovereignty Academy, sitting right here on my desk. If I wasn't a YouTuber, they'd be in the trash by now. Cut them into little pieces. It's so funny. I handed my wife her credit card, and she, you know, took the knife and she cut it up into tiny little bits. It was almost like she was annoyed at it. It was really funny. Our daughter found a piece of it on the ground, and she was sitting there like, "What's this? Is this from the Stone Age?" It's like, yeah, that's from the Stone Age. That's some nonsense, is what that is. So, very excited to have you guys coming on stream and doing the same thing with me, because listen, can you get ahead? Can you make a little bit of money with the whole rewards thing? You can. Is that generally what happens? No. Is generally what happens with these things, with these little cards, and these have been frozen for a long time, so it's not like you're going to get anything even if you were to piece them together. Does this piece of a Chase Freedom card, you know, or this piece of a Discover card, do these things actually make you rich? No, they don't. You know what they do make rich? They make rich the bank and the credit card company, who are getting wealthy off of the poor people that are enslaved to these little pieces of plastic. That's what the credit card companies are doing. So are you making money? Oh my gosh, I got some airline miles. Oh my gosh, I got some cash back. Well, guess what? Who paid you that money? Blood money. Those are the people that are paying you the money. The people that are making money off of the poor single mom who took out a credit card because they thought that it was going to help them make money, because they thought the extra money from the rewards was going to be helpful. But you know what ends up happening is that the financial literacy and the financial discipline is not all there to use them in a way that you don't pay interest, which some people do that. Some people make some money on it. Some people come out ahead, right? But what ends up happening is that when you are the one, quote unquote, coming out ahead, and that probably won't last forever, but when you are one of the people that, quote unquote, comes out ahead with the credit cards, what ends up happening is that you are making money off of the back of people that are screwed because they're drowning in credit card debt. Those are some of the things we talk about here. Are you going to hell because you have your credit card? Heck no. Of course not. That's complete nonsense. Do I think it's nonsense to have a credit card? Yeah, I do. I feel so bad for people that I know so many people that are broke, and the reason is because of the lack of financial discipline. And we can blame things like, blame 2008. 16 years ago, get back up. We can blame mom and dad. You're 43, get back up. We can blame my brother that stole from me. That was 27 years ago. Get back up. I got knocked down. Get back up. America, world, whoever's listening, get back up. You can do this. There's hope. You are in control of your financial destiny. Not the credit cards. Not the economy. I remember it was 2008. And my dad was he was a single dad, right? He was in a very difficult position. And he was just about to get started doing some house flipping. And then 2008 happened, and then all of a sudden, nobody wants to do any of that. And so that was genuinely a circumstance thing, right? He couldn't help that. And so I remember I was 8 years old, and he said, oh man, the economy is just wiping my legs out from under me. And at the time, that was a real circumstance. This is really happening. This is a real problem. I get that. That's difficult. And I said, Dad, where's that economy building? I'm going to go up there and beat him up. He said, well, Jeb, it doesn't quite work like that. There's real circumstance, but you got to get back up. You've got to get back on your own feet and say, the only reason that I am not where I could be right now, besides starting position, which unless you're under like 25 and you live in the United States of America, you live in a capitalistic country and you're able-bodied, I don't really want to hear it anymore. You've had years that you don't get to blame your starting position anymore. At some point, it becomes your responsibility. And there are circumstances proportional to the level of tragedy in your life and your starting position. You have total control over your finances and where you go in life, especially in this world. It has never been more easy. It has never been easier in the history of mankind to become a millionaire than it is right now. Ever. Ever. I'm some nerd that grew up in the country and I run a YouTube channel and I've made millions in my life. If I can do it, some random country boy from Tennessee, if I can do it, they grew up running it. My favorite thing to do is to cut trees down with a freaking chainsaw. If I can do it, my favorite thing is to play video games all night. If I can do it, you can do it. You can do it. You can build something for yourself, and you should. And it's worth it. Don't idolize it. Be in control of it, not the other way around. As soon as you're out of control of it, you might be idolizing it. But you've got the ability to change your life. You've got the ability to change your financial destiny. Please don't buy the myth, dare I say, and I will, the lie, that where you are right now is all somebody else's fault. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes people get kidnapped and they're in slavery. That happens. And they genuinely can't do anything about it. Right? That genuinely happens to a lot of people, and it's sad. That's not you. Then change something about your life today. Say, I need to make my bed in the morning so I feel more disciplined throughout the day. I need to work on paying off debt. I need to get a budget. I need to choose FinSov. I need to follow Jeb and what he's teaching because he dang well knows what he's talking about on this stuff. I need to make a change in my life. What is it going to be? What are you going to do today to change tomorrow? And what are you going to do tomorrow to change the next day? What are you going to do today to build yourself into the kind of person that 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now, you're going to be glad you are, and your kids and your grandkids are going to be glad you are because you were an example to them. I'll close out with this. Yesterday, we were at my mom and dad's house, and my brother, he said, it's Mother's Day, so let's all go around the table and say something that we're thankful for about Mom. She's been married for almost 30 years. I think it might be 30 years now. And everybody went around the table, all the kids and their spouses went around the table and said something that they were thankful for about Mom. And it was so special. She started crying. It was so heartwarming to her because years and years and years ago, and it's Mother's Day, right? Yesterday. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers watching. Happy Mother's Day to my wife. Years and years and years and years and years ago, and throughout the years, she kept thinking, how do I be more faithful? How do I be a good person? How do I care about people? How do I love on people? How do I don't know if she ever articulated it this exact way, but what she was thinking at its core was, how do I be the kind of person that I'm going to want to be and that other people are going to be glad that I am? And it's 30 years later, and she gets to have that experience because she, not so much that she earned it, but she followed God and did what he said. And because of that, she earned it. She earned all of the praise. It was beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing I'd seen in a long time. And that's where we can be with money. That's where we can be with finances. That's where we can be with discipline and character and whatever it is in our life. We can get to that point in the future where we look in the mirror and say, I am so glad, Jeb, that you did that 10 years ago. Jeb today is so glad that 10 years ago, Jeb did that. I look in the mirror and I'm like, 7 years ago, we started the YouTube channel. I am so thankful that Jeb 7 years ago blessed my present Jeb with that. 2 years ago, Jeb married Sarah. I am so thankful that Jeb 2 years ago was not such a loser that she wouldn't marry me, right? I am so thankful for these things I did in the past. It's the opposite of regret. I don't want you to go through life with regret. So make a change today that in the future, you are going to be glad that you are. You're going to be a person that you're glad that you are. And the people around you will be glad that you are the person that you have become. Make that change today, whatever it is. You know what it is. At all times, you're going to have something on your mind thinking, I need to change this. Whatever it is, you know what it is. Go do it. Maybe it's following the financial sovereignty way, getting out of debt, living on a budget, living on less than you make, saving and investing for the future, being generous, choosing financial sovereignty. Maybe it's that. I'll leave you with that. If you enjoyed today's stream, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also make sure to check out one of our sponsors, Crypto.com, because they just hit 100 million users. Make sure to go to the link in the description box down below and sign up for Crypto.com today. The number one reason why you ought to sign up for Crypto.com is because they are the leader in the game when it comes to user experience and user interface, which is one of the most predictive elements of whether or not you're going to continue to invest in something, is how easy it is. That's how you build a habit. You make it easy. Crypto.com has made investing in cryptocurrency easy, so make sure to sign up for Crypto.com with the link in the description box down below, and thank you very much to them for sponsoring the channel. It's always fun talking to you guys. Hope you've enjoyed today's stream. We're going to wrap it out. Before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.